Now, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz has just addressed his Social Democrats Party conference in Berlin. He's still smarting from poor showings in regional elections as a result of government dissatisfaction. Now, a poll released yesterday gave Scholz the lowest approval rating for a German leader in a quarter of a century. Support for the SPD is also flagging. He needs to keep his fractious coalition with the Greens and pro-business Free Democrats on track, while countering the record popularity of the far-right AfD. Now, one area where the far-right has made inroads is in criticizing the policy of allowing more economic migrants to enter Germany. Scholz insisted that only by encouraging more immigrants to come to Germany could prosperity be secured.
Sondern wir haben auch die Aufgabe sicherzustellen, dass wir für die Zukunft unseres Landes
We have the responsibility to ensure, for the future of our country, that there are good prospects for those who are needed here. For many years now, we've seen how Germany would not have the prosperity it has today, had it not accommodated countless people whose parents, or who were themselves, born in another country.
DW Chief Political Correspondent Nina Hase is at the Congress. Hello, Nina. So what stood out for you in the speech?
Well, what stood out for me personally was, above all, the standing ovations after Olaf Scholz's speech. That was not necessarily something that had been expected by many people. The Social Democrats gave him what was more than polite applause. They really did unite behind their Chancellor, and his speech had been anticipated by lots of people. He really did need to deliver, and many people here say that he did, that he managed to convince the audience. He spoke freely. He also stressed the fact that he's a social democratic chancellor, and that did go down well with his audience here. That was desperately needed for him. Some people called his speech excellent. So they were all hoping that he would manage to reverse this bad trend that he's perceived as somebody who's not a good communicator in public. And the party seems to have decided that they do have his back, that they do want this government to continue their work. There were no calls to leave the current government coalition, for example. And also for an international audience, what was interesting was that Olaf Scholz has started to speak more about the importance of also being completely clear that there cannot be any anti-Muslim sentiment, that anti-Muslim incidents will be reported, will be prosecuted here. There had been a lot of stress on anti-Semitic incidents, but now Olaf Scholz repeated that it's equally important to also make sure that Muslims can live a safe life here in Germany.
But as they say, numbers don't lie, do they? He's currently not very popular. How much pressure is on Olaf Scholz and his party to deliver?
There is a tremendous amount of pressure. I mean, this government, of course, is finding itself in an extremely challenging situation, right? So any government at the moment would be having a very difficult time. Germany is going through multiple crises that are all having an effect on each other, and the economic situation is extremely challenging. There's the climate crisis, there's a need to transform the German economy, but there are also homemade problems, and that they have to do with the fact that this is a three-party coalition government who sometimes take their struggles and their fights to the open stage, and that doesn't go down well with German voters. They want clarity, above all when it comes to the budget situation, because Germany's constitutional court has ruled that this year's budget is unconstitutional, and the government has not yet presented a budget plan for the next year. Now, nothing will happen. This is not the US where suddenly everything goes on standstill, but politically speaking, it's extremely important that the government comes back to a point where they show unity. There are 3 very important regional elections next year in Germany, and if this government doesn't get their act together, then this country could soon look very different indeed.
Right. DW Chief Political Correspondent Nina Hase, thank you.